All right, Halal's Real Football Talk. Who are some of the toughest players to evaluate or project how their game would translate to the next level?
That's a good one. We talked about one right off the bat, and Jonah Elliss, right? Where it's like, I know he's going to be good, but how good, right? Like, how good will that be? Gosh, there's a lot of good ones. Just, I'm looking at edge guys right now, too. I think Chop Robinson would be one of those guys.
Without a doubt.
Okay, right? I'd throw
all traits.
Right? It's all traits.
Not much production.
It's not much production. It doesn't feel like it's very instinctive and like a true all-around good football player. But when you say go, rockets up my ass and
insane.
him flying around the corner, yeah, it's as good as it gets. But I don't know. Again, some of his sacks and some of the plays I see him make, I go, that's not going to happen in the NFL. He's not just going to get to go run at the quarterback unblocked or untouched because the right tackle wasn't paying attention to the ball being snapped or whatever else. He would be one. There's two, I think, right there. Go ahead. You got anyone
who
to throw in there?
shocked me?
Yeah, who?
Until I wrote him up, and
Right.
I never thought I'd feel this way. And he's still a first-rounder to me. Dallas Turner.
Okay. I
did not think Dallas Turner...
The film's not wowing.
I didn't think Dallas Turner was the typical... Like, you look at the testing, the traits, even the production.
Yeah.
Because he's got good production in the SEC.
Yeah.
I compared him to Odafe Owe, actually.
Okay.
There's just the things I need, like pass rush plan needs to diversify.
Yeah.
He's in a speed rusher's body, and he wants to win with speed to power.
Yeah,
and
that's all he does, really.
It's fun against certain college teams.
Yeah.
It probably won't go as well until
he's got to have to have more there for sure. You're
the
right.
hands at times stop through the rush.
Definitely.
Like you got to sync the lower half with the upper half. He gets engulfed in the run game, and it's not just tackles. There's tight ends that are big that they just know how to leverage against him. Where I just thought the intensity in the run game didn't match the pass rush juice. Where I'm not saying Dallas Turner isn't a great prospect.
Yeah.
He's a very good one. He is not a elite pass rushing. I know I'm getting 10 sacks. Like I think there's a learning curve there that's going to surprise people.
100%. I think that's exactly right. I honestly though, I think that's what some teams are like though. They go, he does nothing, and he's still really good in the SEC.
And that's fair.
He does one move, right? So I think they're playing a little bit of the, we think he can expand him. It's along the lines of kind of what you said about it's a little bit more of a potential projection pick, right? It is a little bit of that. If you watch Latu film and you watch Dallas Turner film, in my opinion, you're going to go, well, Latu's the better player. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to the better pass rusher in the NFL. And that's where Turner, I'm with you, is interesting that way, right? I mean, I think, again, the bend, some of the physical traits, the arm length, all of that. And, I saw enough in the run game, right, against tackles and things where I went, I'm not worried. He's not perfect there, but he's going to be able to do it and be good at it.
Yep.
He's got tremendous strength in his upper body, which is why he goes speed to power all the time. But, yeah, he's got to learn some variety in his moves. Here was another thing that I thought hurt him. Very few plays in a game where he got to just line up wide and just get after it. Then Alabama, when they say line up wide, it's like he just gets on the outside shoulder of the tackle, and more times than not, he still has to kind of like read the play a little bit, right?
Yes.
And that hurts, I think, his overall look. But I'm with you there about how great it can be. I hear you. I think he's definitely one of the top 3-5 specimens in the draft, but what he is as a football player at this moment, I don't know if he's a top 3 or 5 player at this moment. That's what I would probably back that up with.
The football playing hasn't caught up to the traits.
Right.
But those gifts are special.
They're there. They're there.
They're
like
pretty
the,
special.
The bend and to be 247 and run 4.44 and have a 10-yard split that is in a race with Xavier Worthy, right? I mean, that is eye-popping. There's no doubt about that. Here's another one for you I'll throw out just because we're sitting here. Braden Fisk, Florida State. Another one where I'd go, his good is phenomenal. It's like, oh my gosh, how explosive, how quick. Oh my gosh, he shot through that gap. What a play. His bad is literally like a movie where the center and the guard take him down the field for 15 yards and he's on his back. I mean, so that was another one where it's like, yeah, I see some good stuff, but there's some stuff that really scares me. And he would be one of those that I'd throw in there as far as hard to evaluate how to project it goes going forward.
It is because he's a movement skills like
incredible,
gifted.
Right.
He will have some of the shortest arms for any defensive tackle in the NFL the day he walks into an NFL field.
I almost feel like he needs to be an edge like stand-up
Up and down,
linebacker,
kinda,
move
right.
him everywhere, and just let
Right.
him be instead of like he can't play D tackle the first year in the NFL. I know
Man,
that.
which is
That's crazy.
It's tricky with that body because
I know.
you think D tackle.
I know. I think he's athletic enough to
He's
almost
very.
do like what the Rams have and the Hoyt.
Oh yeah.
The kid from Brown who's
Yeah.
305 pounds
Yeah.
who plays stand-up
Yes.
linebacker.
and you
right?
kind of looks different.
I feel like maybe that's where you almost try him out early on. Any other ones that jump out to you as far as guys that you looked at that were like, hey, that's hard to. I like him. I'm just not sure how it's going to translate. Whatever, any of that.
There's a couple, I think, and players that I really like Kamari Lassiter's a weird one, right? The corner from Georgia.
Right.
He's always in the hip pocket of receivers. He's tough. He's physical. We just don't see a lot of corners that run in the 4.6s playing in the NFL. Say what you want. You could hate testing, analytics, numbers.
It's my argument all the time.
The only one I really comes, and there's a few, but Tremaine Johnson was one. And you have to play, and the wheels fell off the bus pretty quick.
Really
he
quick.
Was 29, it was over.
Really quick.
So
and he was on a team that played zone at first with Jeff Fisher and the Rams, so he
Yes.
got to hide a little bit.
Right. So I like Lassiter. I think he's built a little different, but you kind of go, are you maybe a safety?
I think so. I feel like with him and Enos Rakestraw, that's kind of how I feel the same about both of them.
Yeah.
They're going to be better, and I feel the same way about the kid from Iowa. Cooper DeJean.
You could do everything with him, I
think they're better
Yeah.
like safety hybrid type of players, and I don't trust them on the outside covering some of the top corners in the sport. And I think your point is the point. That's why I'm not as high on Terrion Arnold. I like Terrion Arnold. I want him on my team. I don't want him outside playing corner man-to-man against Jamar Chase.
Right.
Guys that run 4.5, to your point, about you even said 4.6, but like guys who run 4.5 are not elite shut-down man-to-man corners. You look through time, that's usually high 4.3s, 4.4 flat, 4.29, 4.31. That's what those type of guys run. That would scare me about that group of guys we just talked about there.
I'll give you one more. Did
Yeah.
you watch Kingsley Suamatia, the tackle from
Yeah,
BYU?
sure. Yes.
Lot of projection
Right.
there.
Right.
5-star recruit,
Yep.
goes to Oregon, transfers to BYU, plays on both sides.
Yep.
I mean, looks like an offensive lineman. When they ask him to climb and pull, he moves really well.
Yeah.
The hands in the pass sets come out so low, and
Right.
you don't know if you're going to get a punch to the face mask, a punch to the thighs. Like, they're just flying in 40 different directions.
He's got a lot of things to like. I think
and he does. Because once again, he is gifted.
He is gifted, and he's big, and he's powerful, and yeah, he can move.
Yep.
I think for me, he's a guard.
He kind of has the girth of
think,
one.
I think that's where I would trust it. Plus, I think like guard at least at first, and then he can kind of work on mechanics and things that he needs to work on to maybe become a tackle a little later.
It eliminates his deficiencies.
That's what I mean.
Because when they had him at tackle and they would set him really wide, they'd have like a guy in a 7 or a 9. He didn't understand like playing with a wider base. It was like a very narrow angle, and then if
Definitely.
the hands miss, it's over on the inside.
It was over. He
But
opened himself up for two-way
Exactly.
goes. He was that's why when I went, I go, he's not ready for tackle.
Right.
I wrote, I think in my notes, and I don't have my other notebook where I have all my old linemen in, but I think I wrote like, hey, I think he could do tackle one day, but for right now, he's a guard until he figures some things out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like him. He was one of the guys that. I didn't put him on my honorable mentions, or I had a long list of guys, but he would have been the next guy up that I probably would have brought up.
I have him 56th overall, kind of that
That's
second
kinda
round
where I would
development
right.
guy.
Yo, homies, what's up? I know it's the off season, but it's never the off season on Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Me and Ahmed Fareed are going to be here for it all. We got free agency. We're going to break it all down. The draft, the rankings of positions. Of course, we're going to unpack it all. Hit subscribe, get to my free agency reactions, 2024 draft rankings, and more. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, homies. See you soon.